You're listening to Power Talk, Berkeley Electric Cooperative's official broadcast about the cooperative, our communities, and ways to use energy wisely. And now, let's join our hosts for today's episode. Good morning and welcome to Power Talk. This is Micah Ponce, the Communications Media Specialist with Berkeley Electric Cooperative, welcoming you to another wonderful day here in the Low Country. And as always, I am joined by my co-host, Miss Libby Roerig, the Director of Marketing and Communications. Good morning, Libby.
Good morning, Micah. So glad to be here for another amazing show.
And it's going to be amazing because we've got a special guest in the studio. For those of you who are watching on YouTube, hello, everybody. This is Miss Tori Wilson. She is the founder and executive director of KIAWSI, which is, or did I say that right?
KIASWI.
KIASWI. I knew I was going to get that wrong. See, right off the bat, we're just swinging.
Yeah, well-oiled machine.
Yeah,
right
well-oiled machine. I tell you. Well, Tori, tell us a little bit about yourself. What's your background? Where are you from?
Okay, so just to give you, or to re-summarize, my name is Tori Wilson.
Mm-hmm.
I am a native from Moncks Corner, South Carolina,
There
born
you
and
go.
raised. I graduated with a bachelor's degree in business management.
Okay.
And I also have a 20-something-year-old daughter and a grandson. So,
Oh, congratulations.
yeah. And
Busy.
busy, yes, very busy. So it's been a very exciting last 15 years or so.
Yeah.
I've worked with nonprofits in different capacities as well. So, it's been pretty busy in the last 10 to 15 years.
Well, 21-year-old daughter here, just recently graduated, so looking for a job on that struggle bus. So, like you said, sometimes, you're going along fine and you get the call from the daughter and it's like you can go one of two ways.
Yeah.
Most of the time it's dad, hey, I need some money. So, I mean, that's the way it usually goes with me. You mentioned nonprofits.
Yes.
Obviously, we're here to talk about yours. It's a 501(c) nonprofit organization.
Correct.
All right. And tell us a little bit about the vision for what your organization does.
Okay, so KIASWI, let's start with the name.
Yeah.
Because there's a lot of questions about the name.
That was actually on my list of things to ask you about.
Well, KIASWI is an acronym of my daughter's name, actually. Okay. It's the first two letters of her first, middle, and last name. Mm-hmm. And it's a tribute of sorts to all of the other children who may have grown up without a father. And,
Okay.
As far as her growing up, she did, me being a single mother, I was able to experience firsthand the impacts of raising a child without a father involvement.
Mm-hmm.
And that's why I started the organization. There's a lot of pain and a lot of hurt that goes along with having an absentee father, not being present in the child's life.
I can imagine.
Yeah, and it's one of those things where you look at the situation and you really can't take the pain away as much as you want to. But as she's gotten older and grown, the pain still is there, is present. Mm-hmm. And if there's a way that I can encourage more men to become engaged with their children, this is why I started the organization, is to help them promote the idea of father involvement.
So, I know you mentioned a lot of pain, but overall, it sounds like your mission is to inspire.
Exactly.
and to sort of take that pain and not necessarily, turn it into something positive, because that's hard to do, but build on it, learn from it, and try to, help folks understand, it's part of who you are. It's part of the way you were, the things you had to deal with when you were growing up, but it doesn't necessarily define you. It's part of who you are, but you can move past it. And that's part of it, my understanding is sort of what the organization is doing in part, is trying to find that positive way to move forward.
Exactly. And that is all about, celebrating the fathers. Mm-hmm. We love the fathers. I know several good fathers. And with them, they came from different backgrounds. I have our board, our chair. He was a single father, he was a single man at first, of course. All of a sudden he gets a phone call and he has a kid that he didn't know about. And now he's all of a sudden a single father,
Right.
and he's having to do it all alone. So those are the traits that are really admirable, from where I sit. It's just like he went from a single man to a single dad, and his world was turned upside down in a matter of one day in a phone call.
Right.
And for him to embrace it the way that he has, some people may say, like, I can't do it. I can't do it. Mom, take care of my kid, or
Right.
until I can get things straight. But he embraced it, and his son is now in college, and he has 2 or 3 other kids, and the family's doing well. They're doing very well.
That's awesome. So, it's certainly important for fathers to be involved, both parents to be involved throughout a child's life. But I would imagine for your organization, no time is too late.
Right.
It doesn't matter how old your child is.
It does not.
It's the perfect time to get re-involved.
Yes. And that's the thing, with children, they are resilient, but although the scars are there, they would still embrace the idea of having their father involved. And I just see it as an opportunity to reach out to those guys, by promoting our organization, by promoting these fathers out there that may have been like the world to their kids. It's just like, why don't we put them on a platform? Why don't we just take this dad who has 5 kids, and he was there from the very beginning and was there to adulthood. Why don't we take him and put him on a billboard, put him on a commercial, and that's what we want to do, is to really recognize those men, to inspire the other guys out there who are maybe a little lax with their involvement with children. We want to put out that positive energy that, yes, you can do it. That's the message we want to promote. We want you.
And it definitely takes, a village to raise a child. It even with me and my wife being, co-parenting and everything, just the normal everyday, learning all the things that you need to do to raise a child. They don't come with an instruction manual.
They don't.
They should. They really should, but they don't. So, every child's different, and you have to really sort of figure out, it's a learning process for the child, it's a learning process for you. Yes. And especially, like you said, if you're on your own, having that support in any way is just that extra push that you need. There's mornings when I know when I got up and we're trying to get the daughter ready for school, and I'm trying to figure out how to coordinate an outfit, or how to fix hair, or dad, this doesn't look right. It can be a struggle just on the normal everyday parenting.
Yeah.
So taking on that burden, not a burden, but taking on that task by yourself, it really can be daunting, I would think. Yeah.
Yeah.
But you mentioned that you have a board for your organization. Sort of, what do they look like? What's their role? How does that work?
Okay, we have a very small board at this time, so we are still looking for the board members. Okay.
All right, everybody listen up. We're looking for board members.
So we have Jay Manigault. He is our co-chair. He is the single father that we talked about earlier. He's a graduate from South Carolina State, and he has 1 biological son and 2 adopted, and a baby girl. Yes.
Oh,
so he has
okay.
4 kids.
Yeah.
Awesome.
Full house, yeah.
Yeah. And Alexa Long, she's the other co-chair. She is a graduate from Webster University. She has a business management degree as well, and she's awesome as well. She is a single mother, and she also knows the flip sides of being a single mother, both the good and the bad. So we have a lot of passion with the organization, with trying to get things done. We are a solid little team. And so, we're working on developing some things going for 2023 and 2024, the rest of 2023 and 2024. Yeah. That's,
Well, you mentioned passion, and I just got to ask because it seems like you're passionate about a particular team. For those of you who are watching, you might notice there's a little hat on the table here. Got to ask about that. What's going on with the What's going on with the Cowboys?
The Cowboys, I absolutely love them. So Cowboys, they're my favorite team. Everyone who knows me, anyone who's on social media, they know that I am a Cowboys fan. And this is just my little shindig to keep me going. And
there you go.
Your
little,
some of that.
Yeah, there you go. Your little positive energy totem.
My positive energy, yes.
So why is it important for our listeners? Why is it important for fathers to be involved? What does our research tell us?
Excellent question. So research indicates that active fathers can positively impact their children's lives. Social, cognitive, and emotional development are enhanced by father involvement. On the flip side of that, we also know that the lack of father involvement can lead to behavioral issues and other things like drug use and, premature incarceration. So those are some things that we do not want to see going forward in the next generations to come. I would say that when fathers are not actively involved, 75% of children are, children who are receiving rehab for drug use, 75% of them are living in a household without a father.
Okay.
Yeah, and so we also know that 85% of those who are incarcerated, they are also living in fatherless homes as well. So those are some reasons why I look at it as very crucial points of having father involvement, because we want to take away the negativity that can impact them in the future. And me growing up in a 2-parent home, it was good.
Right.
I've always had my father there, and we balanced. I may not have gotten everything that I've wanted. I may not have been the prestige daughter as well. But, my dad, I know that he was always there. I knew that he always loved me. And not to toot my own horn, but, I turned out fine. And I want that for other people. I don't want the trauma to be left on them with the thinking of, I'm not going to be a good person because my father isn't around.
Right.
It is, in fact, that you may have a good mother who can bridge the gap.
Right.
But, that father involvement is another separate role that is very important and critical to a child's life.
With those statistics that you were putting out, I had no idea that they were that high. So,
Yes.
I mean, it does add weight to the mission of what you're trying to do. I mean, the importance of it, because, obviously we don't want, like I said, we don't want children to, it's hard enough growing up. It's hard enough being an adult. We don't need any other burdens on us as well. So, giving giving children that positive foundation to move forward is obviously critical. And like you said, I came from a 2-parent home, and
Right.
He turned out okay.
It's debatable whether or not I turned out okay. In my mind,
Depends on who you ask.
Yeah, ask a couple of my coworkers, you might get a different answer. But overall, my mommy and daddy love me. But no, it is critical to have that support and that positive foundation. And you had mentioned a little bit about sort of lifting fathers up in some of the different ways. What are some of the outreach efforts look like for your organization?
So with KIASWI, we really are focused on celebrating fathers, and we look at doing it in different ways. So of course we have the Father of the Month. This is a critical part of our organization, because this is how we recognize fathers. So with this, we have a 30-second commercial that we are doing with WCSC TV, and we also are partnered with other, like Texas Roadhouse as a sponsor. They do the dinner, and they also post a picture of their each father on their establishment wall, and Yeah, so that aside, we still do like different things for the father. So last year we did a barbecue, appreciation barbecue for the fathers in the area. And that was great. And we're looking at doing that again this coming year. And yeah, so those are really what's critical to our organization as far as celebrating fathers. We give them gifts. Give them the commercial. We post their faces on social media. We are, doing a lot of promoting this. And since we are really just starting from last year, we've been incorporated since 2014, but we took a break for a little while.
Right.
We're really building for this year. So we're taking it a step up and increasing our visibility and enhancing who we are as an organization.
Okay.
Can you give us an example of maybe a Father of the Month, a family that you've touched?
Okay, so I have many fathers that I love, like there's no tomorrow. There's one, he's a stepfather. He was our very first Father of the Month. His name is Robbie Jamerson. Hi, Robbie, if you're listening. Robbie's a wonderful dad. He too came from a two-parent home, but he came into a situation where he stepped into the step-parent role. And he had taken on, I believe, 3 extra kids, and he loved those kids like there's no tomorrow. Every now and then I would see him, on social media with his boys or the girls, and they're doing little silly stuff. And, one of the things that really stands out to me is the love that he has for these children, like they're his biological children. And he's one of the reasons why I did start the organization. There's also Cliff Chapman. He's a phenomenal guy. Single father. He started early. 5 kids. He has been doing a lot with these children. He just had a son who graduated recently. Awesome role model for the children. He's very involved with the church, with his children, with his grandchildren. So awesome. And he has been our last year's first Father of the Month.
Okay.
So awesome guys. They all have a story to tell, and I hope that I can really push the element with getting their story told, because that's where the inspiration really lies. We can look at the faces, we can see the commercial, but the stories are what's really important that will inspire other guys out there to become involved.
Well, I mean, the number of children that you're mentioning just has me sort of blown away. Yeah. I have one child, and I can barely do that, and I have a wife. I've got a co-parent, and the two of us have our hands full with one.
Yeah.
So I need to take some lessons, apparently.
They're awesome guys, and this is the type of guy we would love to promote out there because, like I said, you have the adversity of being a young father, and then you have multiple children, and it's hard, being a single parent as it is, or just one, as you stated. But when you have 5 and you do it well and your kids look up to you and they love you and adore you, that says a lot about what you've done for your children and who you are for them. And he's involved in the churches and in the community, and he's a really good all-around guy.
Yeah. And when thinking about fathers, we obviously automatically think about a biological parent, but it's wonderful that your organization also works with stepfathers, because that
coaches.
Yeah, that relationship brings a whole new set of challenges and rewards too.
Yes. We're not just looking at the biological factor here. We are looking at, we have stepfather, uncle, granddad. We have the coaches who are out there,
father figures.
Yes. Yep. So it takes a community, to raise a child, and that's what we really would like to put these guys in a limelight, like let them be a celebrity for a day or for a month, and appreciate them. give them a pat on the back.
Definitely.
Yeah. Well, some of the statistics you shared, this certainly is a heavy topic and can be filled with a lot of pain, but it's wonderful that you've turned it into such a positive message and positive reinforcement of all the good that's being done.
Thank you. Thank you.
And now fathers, are you taking them, statewide, locally, low country?
Man, let me tell you. So I have them kind of coming in from everywhere. So my focus is in the low country.
Mm-hmm.
However, I've been getting them from out of the state. So I've had Alabama, Mississippi, New York. They've been wanting to nominate their father. I mean, right now, I'm just really focused on the low country area, but I will gladly expand. I am embracing the idea of expanding. Actually, it's just that we got to have the manpower to do all of the stuff. So right now it's local, but I'm going to experiment with the out-of-state fathers as well. And I feel like there's a very big opportunity for growth there.
Yeah, obviously the Low Country has a lot of wonderful people in it, so you probably got your work cut out for you just staying local and recognizing all the people down here. So
it's a art. It's a very loving work of art.
Definitely. Well, you're mentioning, trying to grow and expand the program, media partners, businesses. I mean, what are some of the things that, would help your organization take the next step? I mean, where are you trying to go with this? I mean, how big are we trying to get? How many followers are we trying to reach? I mean,
as many followers
all
as
of
possible.
them.
Yeah, all of them.
Yeah, so we're talking potential partnerships. So as far as KIAWSI and let's say the restaurants sectors, I would love for a partnership where we do fundraisers together, and we are able to post the pictures of each father monthly on their establishment wall.
Okay.
I think it would be good to highlight our fathers and inform them of our organization and our purpose, and maybe bring in some extra patrons, in order to bring awareness to our organization. And as far as like sponsors that are outside of the restaurant and retail, we are also looking at manufacturers. Our big thing now is we would like to find as many fathers as possible to spotlight. And working with the local manufacturers and companies in the area, banks, we have a larger range of men to select from. And although we have a lot of guys who are being funneled in from, different people, I would like to expand it to be able to have events at different locations, different job sites or, things of that nature, to where, again, we are promoting our mission and our organization, and we want to do something for the fathers at this location, at this job site, at this manufacturer, so.
Well, I mean, you're talking about, we definitely want to help you grow, and we definitely want folks to find out about it. So in terms of if they want more information about the organization, where do we need to look? How do we nominate a father? How does all that work? Where do we need to go?
How do we get involved?
Yeah, how do we get involved?
Excellent question. So you can find me at on Facebook. You can find our organization on Facebook. It's KIASWI, KIASWI, and then you can also find us on not social media, on our website, www.kiaswi.org.
Okay.
And you can fill out a contact list and tell us the information that's needed. We'll respond back normally within 24 hours and give you all the information. We'll send a form so they can submit the information of the father that they're wanting to nominate.
And how many fathers a year are y'all recognizing? Is it once a month? Or?
Once a month. So
okay.
We normally start in the second quarter. So we're looking at 9 fathers each year right now. However, we are looking at recognizing them through other ways, not necessarily in the Fathers of the Month, but in a different form. So with that being said, we will be looking for our fathers for a calendar, KIAWSI's calendar.
Oh.
Low Country Fathers, yeah.
There you go.
So that's another way where we can grab some more guys and recognize them and put them in the limelight for a little while, and have them like kind of on the wall every month. Different fathers. So it's kind of separate from the Father of the Month, but it's kind of the same.
Literally the Father of the Month.
So, yeah.
I think I'd be good for April.
Just saying.
Just saying.
Just saying.
Just saying. Well, this has been great, talking with you. But I mean, overall, I know we've ranged a little bit back and forth about the organization and where it's going and everything else like that. But like in a summary, what's the message or impact that you want KIAWSI to have on the community? Just sort of recap it for everybody who just might be tuning in right now. Let's get that package and get it, your mission statement all in one. What are we trying to do here?
All right. So KIAWSI was started with 2 missions. One, we want to celebrate the fathers. We want to promote the fathers, put them in the limelight. We want to make them a celebrity for a month. It's all about the inspiration, and that's the important part of KIAWSI's Father of the Month program, is that we want to motivate, we want to encourage, we want to inspire other guys to we would
technical
like
difficulties,
to,
folks. That's all right.
Excuse me.
No, we're good.
Okay, and we want to show the fathers with the different elements. And of course, we want to celebrate them in different ways, like the barbecue, maybe do a round table, which we do have coming up soon. But that's one reason, and that's the real goal behind the organization. We want to inspire, empower, and rebuild the legacy of fatherhood. And
it's important because I've seen it myself. My next door neighbor, unfortunately, his wife passed away from cancer.
Okay.
And so you had, this loving family that's suddenly gone through this tragedy. And as is often the case, the wife a lot of times carries a lot of the load in keeping the family together and keep making sure that the kids are the places on time and that they do have matching shoes on and they have the lunch that they need. And watching him go through the struggle of trying to navigate suddenly being a solo parent. So, it doesn't necessarily have to be that the father's never been there or
Right.
or the other person hasn't never been there. It can be that situation where all of a sudden you just find yourself, unfortunately, it's all on you. And trying to navigate that situation by yourself has got to be incredibly hard. It's a partnership, but everybody has their own specialties, and suddenly trying to pick up all of the skills you need to keep that child happy and healthy and looking in the right direction.
Yeah.
It's definitely a struggle.
And it's definitely a lifelong commitment, parenthood. My husband and I have an 8-year-old little boy, so, I'm fully grown. But my family lost my dad a couple of years ago, suddenly, unexpectedly. And his absence these past 2 years is felt every day, and you just... the mentoring and the guidance and the support, even to adult children, is so important, and just never ends. And when they're not there, it's felt.
Yes, definitely. Same situation. My father-in-law passed away. My father actually lives across the country in Arizona. And so my father-in-law did sort of become my substitute father here locally. And then he just passed away, recently from a heart attack unexpectedly. And there's so many times that even I, like you said, as an adult, find myself, wanting to lean on him and wanting to lean on his experience and especially mechanically, he was a lot better than that kind of stuff than I was. And so I'm like, hey Les, I need this, and hey Les, can I borrow this tool? And and not having him there, I mean, it definitely has left even just me. You know, he's sort of, like I said, it was from my local father. And not having him here has impacted me and, of course, the entire family. Yeah. So having that father figure is critical at any stage in life, and having them there to guide you and lend their experience to you and everything else. So I want to just say thank you for doing what you're doing. I think it's an amazing organization, and it's a really important mission that you're trying to fulfill.
Yes, thank you. Thank you for recognizing it.
Well, definitely. Well, everybody, this has been another edition of Power Talk, so thank you for tuning in. This is the official broadcast of your local electric cooperative. You can catch up with past episodes on streaming platforms like Spotify, Apple, and iHeartRadio. And don't forget, you can get a behind-the-scenes look at each episode on the Co-op's YouTube channel. So next time, this is Berkeley Electric's Power Talk, and we're signing off.